here tonight with Aaron Tanner. How's the weather where you're at?
It's good. It's actually cooled off today and yesterday. It's kind of gloomy out there, and I think it's about 50. I think it's 46 degrees outside last time I looked.
Wow, we had a little bit of snow here in Virginia.
Yeah, we don't get that in South Georgia. we dream about it and pray that it'll come, but we'll get one good snow about every 20 years.
Who inspired you to do music?
Well, I started doing music at a young age. My parents both are multi-instrumentalists and songwriters, singers. And my daddy was a pastor, and grew up in church, them singing in church. So I took to it, at a young age. I got Mama's got some cassette tapes to me somewhere when I was about probably 3 or 4, singing to the top of my lungs, different songs I'd heard in church and all. And so just, grew up in a musical family. About age 12, started playing the guitar, and probably about age 14 or so started writing songs. So it just kept growing and growing from there,
Okay. What makes you different than all the rest of the country artists out there?
I think one thing that makes me a lot different is my style of songwriting. It's very traditional country, which is something that we're really lacking nowadays. It's starting to come back, with artists like Chris Stapleton and Cody Johnson and different ones. It's starting to make a comeback. But one of the things is my sound's very country, but my lyrics a lot of times are very Christian, very inspirational or whatever. And I actually have a song that I wrote that's name of it's Too Country for the Church, Too Christian for the Bar. So that's kind of where, I talk a lot about, in interviews and things, that my music's always fell in the cracks, I felt like, because it was too country to put in with the like the Southern gospel and the contemporary music, but then felt like it was, too Christian or too gospel to go in with just straight country music, and never really felt like there was a place for it. And then, finally I was like, what, I'm gonna make a place for it. And if they like it, they do. If they don't, they don't. And so far the response has been great.
Who would you like to co-write with?
Well, I had never done much co-writing, honestly. I've written a couple with my wife, and then I've written 1 or 2 with my daddy, and then had a couple of friends. Most of the time, where all of my co-writing comes from is somebody will write maybe a verse in the course of a song and say, hey, I can't finish this. Can you think of a verse, and I'll take it and I'll finish it, or vice versa. There's been a song or 2 I had that I had like a verse and a chorus for years, and I sung it to somebody one day and say, hey, this is all I got. And they said, well, how about this? I never really just sit down and say, okay, we're gonna write something. We're gonna co-write something.
We're gonna play one of your tracks. Always on My Mind.
All right, Always on My Mind, yes, sir. That's my newest single.
Tonight I took a walk down the hallways of my mind, and I saw a lot of places I ain't seen in some time. There I resurrected memories from beneath the sands of time, and I dusted off the cobwebs in the hallways of my mind. In the hallways of my mind, I get lost from time to time. I just go from room to room just to see what I can find. They say time waits for no man, and and some things get left behind. So tonight I took a walk down the hallways of my mind. There are places in these hallways that you will never see, places that are only for my God and me. Just believe me when I tell you that I've cried a sea of tears, for I've been young and now God's hand has brought me here. In the hallways of my mind, I get lost from time to time. I just go from room to room just to see what I can find. They say time waits for no man, and some things get left behind. So tonight I took a walk down the hallways of my mind. So tonight I took a walk down the hallways of my mind.
Sounds similar, like a George Jones song.
Yeah, I've heard a few people say that. Yeah. I actually, speaking of that, after the first year, I'm actually supposed to start doing a little bit of touring with George Jones's daughter, Georgette Jones. I don't know if you know her or know of her or anything, but yeah, she, my manager let her hear the song after we recorded it, and she said, "Man, that's real country right there, and that's high praise coming from Georgette or George Jones's daughter, you know." So, but yeah, I've had a few people say it sounded like something he would have sung, and that's, you know, that's a big compliment right there.
Okay. How do you feel that the internet has impacted the music business?
I don't know. On the one hand, you know, it makes it easier for you to get exposure, you know, through YouTube and different things, and you know, you can get a lot of exposure that you know used to you couldn't. You know, we actually made a video that goes with Hallways of My Mind. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but we made a music video and everything, and it's got over 500,000 views last time I looked at it on Facebook. So, you know, 500,000 people has watched that when, you know, if we didn't have the internet now, you know, maybe 500 people might have said, well, actually, if we didn't have the internet, where would I have posted it? You know, I don't know. CMT still hasn't picked it up yet, so I guess nobody still would have seen it. But the internet's giving you a lot more exposure. You can do a lot more research and find resources and make contacts with different people. I know social media is a big thing, you know, contacting people and getting your name out there. On the other hand, I guess this would fall under internet, things like Spotify, and I know there's a big controversy among artists about Spotify and all these streaming platforms, and they get your name out there a lot, but it is crazy how how little they get paid, or they pay artists, and because I think it's like 0.009 cents for every time somebody listens to your song or something like that. And I think Vince Gill said something about it one time. I think it might have been before streaming was a big thing. It was just downloads. He said, you pour your heart and your soul into a song, you write it, you play it, you sing it, and all this, time and effort goes into recording it and getting it, just perfect. And then you sell it for 99 cents on, iTunes or Google Play or something like that. It's just, it's an odd feeling sometimes when you put that much effort into something and it becomes so cheap.
What's the best advice you ever been given?
Best advice I ever been given. Well, probably that I can think of right offhand, especially since I started getting out there with my music and everything. My daddy told me one time to dance with the one that brung you. And what he meant by that was, God's brought me this far. Don't never forsake him. He's brought me, gave me everything I got and brought me where I am today. So, it's the least I can do is try to give back to him and not forget him, as he blesses me, and as, hopefully I go on to bigger and better things as we go on, just to never forget him.
Where can people go and see your videos, music, and events?
Well, you can go on Aaron Tanner Music on Facebook and Instagram, and then aarontannermusic.com is my website. And you can purchase, right now I have 2 songs out. It's just Always on My Mind, and then one I wrote for a fallen soldier called As They Carry Me Back Home. Both of those are available on my website, but also on all digital platforms, streaming platforms, Google Play, Amazon, all that stuff, available on all that. And then I'm also on YouTube under Aaron Tanner. And I actually have an EP that's coming out, I think, tomorrow. It's supposed to be finalized to where I can, send it off, have it duplicated, and get it put online. So it'll be probably within the next 2 weeks sometime. It will be available for download, streaming. I think there'll be the 2 songs that's already out is on the EP, plus I think 3 more. I think there's 3 more on there. So it's just a short little EP, and but it'll be available everywhere. And then also hard copy will be available, and it would be. I was going to say the hard copy would be available on my website, but right now my website's not set up to sell merchandise, but soon it will be. I also have some T-shirts that's available for sale, and I meant to have some where I could show people, but I don't. I don't have none with me right now. I think they're in the car. But you can go on my Instagram and my Facebook, and there's 3 different designs. And I mentioned As They Carry Me Back Home, that song, and I won't go into the story of it, but basically I partnered with a foundation that helps veterans in conjunction with that song, and made a shirt using their logo and mine, and 20% of the profits from that goes to the foundation to help veterans. So like I said, you can go on my, it's not on my website yet, but you can go on Facebook and Instagram and see those, and you can message me, and if you want to order one of those. And I think they're $25 a piece. So that's where you can find me.
Okay. Well, thanks for being on the show tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Maybe we can get you back again.
Yes, sir.